Melissa, are you're not into March Madness at all, right? I would be incredibly surprised if you were, but do you have any kind of like, I don't even want to say passing interest, but like anything related to that would surprise me?
I know that there are colleges where they do play basketball, but I don't think I could tell you any team names. I know the names of large universities.
Sure.
That I presume have basketball teams that are in whatever March Madness is or does. It's not like I know, oh yeah, the Ohio Jaguars top everyone's draft pick.
Gotta love those Ohio Jaguars. Shout out to Ohio and them Jaguars. The only reason I mentioned that is because this week, today, I finally had like a slower day at work and it was fantastic. But since the school that I work for got into the tournament this year, our first game is this Friday. They were like, hey, we're closing down the offices at like 1 PM, so you guys can all go out and watch the game if you want, like all that stuff. So I am happy that I don't have to spend that whole day working and, watching the game. Air quotes. But that's it. That's the only reason that I mention it. So, oh well.
That's Melissa, cool. Good for you. I'm doing fine. Once when the Blues, the St. Louis hockey team, were in the playoffs, we did get to have a free party at work. They brought in beer. It was like the first time they brought alcohol into the office. They're like, we might win the Stanley Cup. You can have a beer now. That's cool.
That's I feel like almost the attitude that we have at VCU, because I don't remember if it was my freshman or sophomore year, but it was early on. We got into the tournament then, and we went all the way to the Final Four.
Ooh.
And no one was expecting us to. We were nobodies. We threw everyone off. How they always make their like, here's my prediction.
Yeah.
Bracket. No one thought that we would go all the way. We messed up everything. And it was such a wild week because I've never lived in a town that really has like an emotional connection to the sports team.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was just so like mind blowing that like, oh my God, like we're in the Final Four. Everyone was outside. They were partying. They were rioting. They were climbing statues. They were standing on top of cars. They were doing all sorts of stuff. And it was just a crazy experience.
They put a car on top of a statue.
They
climbed on top of that.
Yeah. They got whoever put those U-Haul trucks on top of the U-Haul buildings to put the car on the statue, and somehow they like balanced it out. No, I'm just but yeah, like that was the closest that I've gotten to that. I've been in a town where like when their team like won the Super Bowl like that night, but I had no like connection to the team. But yeah, that night everyone was out in the streets. They were yelling, screaming, hooting, hollering. It was good. It was fun.
That is good energy to be around when like your city's sports team gets into a playoffs or something. Everything's electric. You do hear the hoot and the holler, which doesn't come up many other times a year. Oscars just happen. I didn't hear any hooting and hollering.
You hear your neighbors down the road. Oh, yeah, it's the Oscars, baby.
Jamie Lee Curtis. And then they light off fireworks.
Yeah, you present that award. Yeah, that's how you do it. Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys did not know, this is number 227 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log, where every week we thirst for the taste of legend. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, the Oscars happened this weekend. I'm assuming you have extensive notes and charts and spreadsheets, or at least some highlights. to share.
I have my ballot. I kept my ballot from last year. Yeah. Okay. The name in the game. I got 12 out of 23. Last year I got 14. So I didn't beat. I won last year. This year I just tied. Me and my friend Ashley tied. This was a tricky year. There were some movies that won multiple awards and movies that were nominated like 6, 7, 8 times and walked away with nothing. Anything. It was a really odd balance. Elvis didn't get anything. That's why my score is not higher. I was betting on Elvis to get some technical awards like costumes, makeup, cinematography. Nah, none of them. Man.
Yeah, I saw some of the like big major things that I kind of cared about on Twitter and such. But besides that, I paid no attention to the Oscars. Didn't watch it.
Oh, it was fun. I really enjoyed it this year.
Good.
I think after all the chaos last year, they wanted something that was just very back to basics. Like they spent a lot of time this year on informational bits instead of like jokey bits, you know? Like last year, Wanda Sykes goes to the Academy Museum and she's making jokes the whole time. And this year they still have a bit where you go to the Academy Museum. There's no jokes. They're just telling you facts about it. And I like that. Like I really want to.
No jokes.
Zero fun, sir.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, there's bits. There's somebody in a cocaine bear suit who's just like pestering people in the audience, you know, classic gags. But like when they presented the costume award, they've got some of the costumes on stage. When they present the editing award, they've got 2 people back there, one at an old-fashioned editing machine and one at
two interns chained up in the back going, please save us, please help us.
They just have these sort of living tableaus. It's like they're presenting in front of a museum exhibit, like they're on the stage. I think it's a new theater that they're in, or a remodeled theater that's got like strips of LED lights like behind every row of seats. Like the entire theater lights up, or the entire theater goes dark. That's like awesome. The screen work, the stage production, just the flow of the ceremony. Oh, I liked that. I found that pleasing.
Cool. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what of the ones that you did win, what ones did you predict correctly?
Okay. Everything Everywhere All at Once for Best Picture, which seemed pretty clear. Daniels for Best Directors. Actor in a leading role. That went to Brendan Fraser. I was predicting Austin Butler. I put a lot of money on Elvis. Like, the Oscars Watch podcast I listened to led me to believe that the voting body really cared about Elvis, and I suppose maybe they didn't.
Maybe
lead actress, Michelle Yeoh, a very close tie. I mean, a very close race between her and Cate Blanchett. It is a struggle. It was a struggle to like pencil in this little square on the sheet of paper. But I put Michelle Yeoh. She was triumphant. Ki Kwan in supporting actor. That one was also clear. Yep. I also did go for Jamie Lee Curtis in supporting actress. Another like tricky category. Came away with that. Women Talking for adapted screenplay. I know you were on the edge of your seat. Is Women Talking gonna get adapted screenplay? It did.
Hey,
international feature
was nonstop. Women Talking could be pretty exciting.
International feature, All Quiet on the Western Front. Animated feature, GDT's Pinocchio. Documentary went to Navalny. Original song did go to Natu Natu.
I saw
from
that.
RRR.
Yep. I saw that.
That was excellent. I predicted everything ever.
Kind of performance of it, or
yes.
Was it just like playing in the background when they accepted it?
No, they perform all of the songs. Every song gets a performance.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's not. They don't have as much space in that theater to do a number as huge as it is in the movie, but they had maybe like 24 people recreating that choreography. It was very fun.
Rachel's in the chat here and says, I wish it would have been the girl that played the daughter as the best supporting actress.
It was she was nominated. The group of people I was with were very upset that it wasn't her.
Right.
Which is it's stressful. I love the Oscars, but they're very stressful because even, of course, you can't make everyone as in the larger movie going or movie making body happy. But even in a small Oscars party of 5 people, there's still a lot of yelling about who you wanted to take each award, even if they're 2 nominees from the same movie.
Yep. Like we said, a lot of hooting and hollering.
It's stressful. I'm like, I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to make you guys happy. Do I need to leave? And Avatar the Way of Water for visual effects. Again, pretty clear. Would have been shocked if that didn't win. Those are the ones I correctly predicted. I had some misses, but like some of them are things I was happy for. Again, I was thinking Elvis might have taken costumes. Black Panther took costumes. I was very happy that Black Panther won that award again. It's definitely deserved.
That also had a lot of great production design and stuff like that. Like I think that I think to me is one of the more interesting things of this year's Oscars is that like there were multiple movies in each category that's like honestly, it could be either one of these. And I think that when something like that happens at an award show, to me, it makes it that much more interesting because the votes get split so much more. And it's something that might have just been in that third spot. Maybe just squeaks in just because the vote gets split like that much. Right. So yeah, like Elvis absolutely gorgeous costuming and sets and production, and yeah, like I would have voted for that, but not surprised at all that Black Panther took that too.
I love it. They're exciting races, but it is always stressful that not everybody gets the little gold guy that they get to take home, and there's no solution to that unless they like. We have 10 nominees and 3 of you get trophies. You're 3 equal winners. You're gonna 3 of you on a podium like at the Olympics, but it's all the same level.
I gotcha. Yeah, I saw the few things. I saw Best Picture. I saw the song, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor and Actress. That was kind of all I saw though, and those were only the ones that I was like, yeah, I want these, and it was all the ones that I expected to win. So I was like, oh yeah, good, okay. that was my experience with the Oscars.
That's fine. You don't have to have them all. Maybe next, any year. You can jump in any year. There's no continuity. You don't need to know how many nominations Michael Clayton got in 2007 in order to watch the Oscars next year. Jump in anytime if you want. It's fun. This is what I do instead of the March Madness.
So this past year, you had been kind of following along with an Oscar podcast or two to keep up with what the discussion is, who they think might win, all that stuff. Is that something you think you're gonna do again next year? Because I know at one point you were still on the fence. You were like, I don't know if I will, but I might.
No, I think I'm fully into it now. I don't know if I'm going to be the person who watches every single movie. That's quite a gauntlet. And sometimes the movies are difficult to get a hold of, or they're just real bummers. It's like I didn't have it in me to watch women talking this year. But it's fun. I think I'm always going to follow it, keep up with it, try and see a handful of everything, watch the ceremony, make snacks.
That's cool. Good stuff.
Think a lot about the themed snacks.
There you go. Well, keeping in line with movie and TV stuff, I think we have enough time to sneak in some pop culture news here before we do housekeeping. And then I have a follow-up question to something I asked last week, kind of, which we'll do in this second half of the show here. So real fast, John Bernthal is reprising his role as the Punisher in the upcoming Daredevil Born Again series coming to Disney Plus. And from what I'm hearing, still no word if Foggy or Karen will be back. I hope they do. At the very least, give me Foggy. But I want both of them back.
We love that Foggy. Yeah. Like, I am happy that people have continued to ask this question. It's at the front of people's minds. It has been for years.
Yeah.
We want these people back. These minor supporting characters back. We demand it.
But did you ever watch any of the Punisher, or did
no? I mean, he was in Daredevil season 2, so I saw him for a little bit. He was pretty good. I'm happy he's back.
Yeah, he was great in the role. I liked him a lot in that, and I feel like the 2 seasons of The Punisher that we got on Netflix, I think, are kind of underrated. Like
2 seasons?
Yeah, we got 2 seasons.
Wow.
They were pretty good. I really enjoyed them. But I don't like I don't remember exactly why people didn't necessarily like it, but it just kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people. I think maybe as that like second season of Daredevil was not as many people liked it, and they were like, okay, this is getting a little strange. And yeah, who knows? But I'm glad that he's back. I loved him in that role. I thought he was great. He was phenomenal. So I'm happy to see him back.
Good.
Some news that dropped today, not too long before us recording this here podcast, is that James Gunn will be directing the upcoming Superman Legacy. He's also the one writing the script. They announced it when he did here's all the movie and TV show slate that DC Studios or films or what have you. This was this is going to be their first one, their first movie out. This is the first one coming, and yeah, we did not know who was going to be directing it when they announced it, but it came out today that Gunn will be taking this over. Melissa, thoughts on this? How are you feeling about James Gunn on a Superman film?
They're both from the Midwest, and I think that's a good match. I think he's going to bring true Midwestern energy to Superman. So you wrote down this headline in our Google Doc, and you included a link to a tweet. And sometimes I don't click these because I'm like, does it say anything more than the headline you already wrote? But
usually not.
This is a really lovely message when you follow through the tweet from James Gunn. Yeah. It says, yes, I'm directing Superman Legacy to be released on July 11th, 2025. My brother Matt told me when he saw the release date, he started to cry. I asked him why. He said, dude, it's Dad's birthday. I hadn't realized. I know he lost his father a couple years ago. I think shortly before or during the production of The Suicide Squad. So that's a very sweet message. I like that I appreciate that he shared that with us.
Did you read the rest of the thread here? It's
I can't.
Entire,
there's a thread
thing here. Yeah, so
I can only read one of these at a time.
So immediately after that, he tweets out, I lost my dad almost 3 years ago. He was my best friend. He didn't understand me as a kid, but he supported my love of comics and my love of film. And I wouldn't be making this movie now without him. It's been a long road to this point. I was offered Superman years ago. I initially said no because I didn't have a way in that felt unique and fun and emotional that gave Superman the dignity he deserved. Then a bit less than a year ago, I saw a way in many ways centering around Superman's heritage, how both his aristocratic Kryptonian parents and his Kansas farmer parents inform who he is and the choices he makes. So I chose to finally take on writing these scripts, but I was hesitant to direct, despite the constant pestering by Peter Safran and others to commit. Sorry, Peter. Just because I write something doesn't mean I feel it in my bones, visually and emotionally. Enough to spend over 2 years directing it, especially not something of this magnitude. But the long and short of it is, I love this script, and I'm incredibly excited as we begin this journey. Hashtag up, up, and away.
Nice.
So yeah, I saw this. Wasn't really gonna link it anything at first, but yeah, once I saw this, I was like, oh, I have to put this in. This is so good. Coming out on his dad's birthday, if it sticks to the landing and keeps that date. But I think it's just serendipitous, especially with it being Superman Legacy, and it's about his parents and all that stuff like that. That I think. Not that I think that this is really good insight to what this movie is going to be about, and it is going to be a look at like who Superman is as a person, why he is that way. Sure, there'll be some big action stuff like that, but I think at the end of the day, it will be about his family and how and why he makes the choices he makes. And so if this is kind of the jumping off point of that, sounds good. Sounds good.
I like this setup. This sounds very sweet.
Yeah. That said, when I initially heard this news, I was a little bit more whelmed. Just kind of even keel, being like, well, James Gunn has done really good on Guardians and on the Suicide Squad. Like, I know he's a capable director. I know he can make this, but I also didn't want the like DC film studio to be the like James Gunn show where he writes and directs everything. Like, I really liked that message of him being like, I'm gonna get different people to direct all these, and it will be their vision. So I was a little bit more just like, I don't know, like, I'm sure it'll still be okay, but we'll see. But this, I think, gives me hope. So I'm more excited now. More excited. But yeah, that's kind of all that I saw for like pop culture news stuff of the week. So I say we take a quick break for housekeeping. And then when we get back, like I said, I have a follow-up question to something I asked last week. So we will be right back. Here at the Whatnauts, we make multiple different shows, and a lot of hard work goes into making them, so we would love it if you check them all out. If you enjoy our shows, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is the best place to show your support. For just $1 a month, you can get early access to episodes, and at our $3 tier, a Patreon exclusive podcast, The Pilots Club. You can even get a shout out and thank you on most of our shows at the $5 tier. And if you're one of our patrons already, thank you so much. It means the world to us. You can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in The Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. You can also find us on YouTube and Twitch for video versions of the shows, trailer reactions, and live streams. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a hoodie or a mug or something else, head over to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. All right, so we are back. Once again, a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. On the Pilots Club, our $3 tier patron exclusive podcast this month, we took a look back the year 2000 when CSI originally came out. This was a good one. It was fun. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, but it was a solid pilot. I was impressed. That being said, Melissa, Bob Patterson is the one we are doing this next month. What is Bob Patterson?
I'm not surprised you don't know it, because I think it only aired 4 or 5 episodes over the course of a month in 2001. This stars Jason Alexander as the third best-selling self-help author in America.
This sounds ridiculous. I am excited to get into this and see what this nonsense is. I've been rewatching Seinfeld recently, so I see him all the time, and I'm just like, how is he now the like third? Like this sounds like an episode of Seinfeld, to be honest. Like George has to somehow make some like convince someone that he is like the third most successful self-help author, and it just goes horribly wrong, right? But yeah, that's what we will be covering this next month, so be on the lookout for that. Cool things we've been up to here at the Whatnauts. Right here on the Captain's Log this past week, we were still talking about the Oscars. We were coming up with new categories that we thought should be on there, all kinds of cool stuff. And I would like to give a big shout out to Keanu Reeves for listening to our podcast and using that as inspiration to be like, yeah, you know what? We really do need a stunt category in the Oscars. And yeah, thank you. Friend of the show, Keanu Reeves. He was out there on Twitter being like, we need best stunt in the Oscars. So that was neat. Then over on the review show, we got to read some Shazam comics this week. There's also the brand new Shazam movie out this week. I guess by the time this goes live, it will be opening weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It'll already be out. But yeah, we thought it would be an opportune moment to read Shazam and the Seven Magic Lands, which was kind of children get not kidnapped, but transported to all these different magical lands. Stuff like stuff that will like remind you of Narnia or The Wizard of Oz and Wonderland or Tron. Stuff like that, but it's Shazam and the Marvel family that he has there. So that one was good and fun. Over on the Reactor Core, we got the finale of The Last of Us. Ignacio and myself got to discuss that. Season 1 covers the events of the first video game, and people have been talking about that game for the past decade because it has a rather polarizing conversation starting end to the game, and the show followed suit exactly with that. And man, I have feelings. Melissa, I have feelings.
I have been adjacent to this program for several weeks now. I have no clue what it is you're talking about. Like, I have gotten no whiffs. Nobody, like, every thumbnail I scroll past on YouTube, I don't know what he does. Is it a Myst situation? What happens? I'm talking Myst with an I, the horror movie, not MYST, the PC game.
It's not a super original plot, if I do have to say. There is, long story short, there is this like zombie-like infestation
I know that
takes over the world. Yeah, and there's one girl that is the cure, so he's transporting her to get the like basically experimented on, and he doesn't really realize that through most of the journey, and some stuff happens there at the end, and he makes a decision. He makes a choice to do a certain thing, and it's just the like, did he do the right thing? Is the main character an asshole? Is he a terrible person? Did he make the right choice? But I love these characters. I like seeing them here. I like them there, but I don't know. So yeah, it's an interesting show to say the least.
Same conversation following the Oscars. Were the right choices made?
I mean, I like that character, but I mean, he's kind of an asshole. But you know, yeah. So we have that, and then we will be covering The Mandalorian season 3 on the Reactor Core as well. We will do that in 2 different episodes. So we will do the first half and then the second half once it's all complete. So be on the lookout for that. But that is housekeeping for this week here. So, Melissa, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Last week here on the podcast, one of the things I asked was like, do you really pay attention to the episode titles on
Yeah.
a TV show? Because I've noticed some of them just say like episode 1, and that's it. It's kind of lame. But I've been watching this show called Black Spot on Netflix. It is a small town French crime drama.
Oh, France.
Yeah.
I'm playing like countries of the world, like spin the wheel in my head. Like, where is this from? South Korea, Spain, Argentina. Where's Kyle going this week?
Small town French crime show with some horror mixed in.
Ooh.
Remember when we were on the review show, we watched that small town French crime show called The Forest? It has very similar vibes to that, in that the small town, like most people know everyone. The police station has like 4 employees, 5 maybe. And they are located kind of in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by this like really dense forest that maybe has some supernatural qualities. And in the show Black Spot, there is this creature that is out in the forest, and people aren't sure if it's real or not, if it's a thing of myth or legend. Is this a god, like what, like some old like Celtic god? But it's also like a crime show. There's like a murder mystery that they're trying to solve, or a character's disappearance. There is like a big overarching plot that I think worked for the most part. And every episode is also like a little smaller crime that they're investigating. But as I finished season 1, I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop there for now. And then I went back on Netflix and I caught the episode description of the premiere of season 2. And Melissa, I have never caught whiplash from reading an episode description until then.
Hold on. I like that you said caught whiplash as if whiplash is a contagious disease. If you see a car accident, you've got it now.
I mean, if you do a double take hard enough, right, you might.
If you're next to somebody who does a double take hard enough, now you've caught it. Go get your flu
like
shot.
Yawning. Yeah. But the show takes place in like modern day time. It's called Black Spot because the town being out in the middle of nowhere and in this like dense forest. It's kind of in this dead zone where like cell phones don't work as well, or at least to get like make calls outside as well. People don't really leave the town, or they don't really come and stay there. They're just kind of this like closed off dark spot on the map. But the episode description of the premiere of season 2 is like, while the main detective is focusing on, this mystery, flashbacks to 52 BC in Roman times, when I was just like, what? Wait, what? This show has nothing to do with that. What is happening? I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Kyle, you've lived through this already. Their season 2 premiere of The Leftovers starts with a cave woman. You've seen it. It can happen.
But but that's the thing, is like, I didn't read the episode description for it to be like in, I forget the name of the town, but like in the Savior town in Texas, they do this. While meanwhile in cave people times, like that, I would have been like, what? We're going back to like Neanderthals? What is happening? What's going on? Like, But like, has that happened to you where you've read the description of something and just been like, whoa, wait, what? How do we get here?
Sometimes I do. I know when we were watching 1899 on Netflix, the episode descriptions were like, a bug on deck causes panic. And I'm like, is this a disease? And then I watch it and there's just like a beetle. And somebody's like, how'd this beetle get here?
That's so funny. Yeah, I like it just made me think, because I was like, oh, the episode title of season 1, episode 1 of Black Spot is A Stranger Comes to Town. And I was like, ooh, I like that. That sounds cool. Like, you should like bring back good TV episode titles. And then I read like season 2 this week, and it's just like, whoa, episode descriptions are wild, Melissa.
You're so easily impressed. You're so easily jostled.
I don't feel like I am, but this is just so out of left field that it's just like, what? How? Why? Oh, well. Oh, well.
Again, I'd be more sympathetic to you if we had not seen this happen. We saw this. We've been here.
it doesn't happen often. So I was like, can we name the times that it has happened? Like, I don't think that ever really happened on Lost, where an episode description or something was just like, whoa, wait, what? Oh my God.
I'm going to have to go through these now.
Maybe in like season 4 or 5, there was one, especially when they start to get to the like time travel stuff.
Yes.
It's like, meanwhile, in the 70s.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I feel like we kind of knew what was coming in that, just having watched the show. This gave no hint that like, oh, like, hey, we're gonna do some major flashback, or like the show didn't really have very many flashbacks in it to begin with, so it's not like a flashback heavy show, and all of a sudden it's just like, yep, we're going all the way back 52 BC, my brother, let's go.
I guess it's not wild that happened. I mean, relatively in the entire landscape of television, it's not wild that they had an episode set in 52 BC. But the fact that they did put that in the episode description is bold. That is kind of a big thing to drop into an episode description. It's more fun to just be shocked. I didn't know the season 2 premiere of The Leftovers was going to start with a cave woman.
Yeah, neither did I. It was wild. But yeah, it caught me off guard for sure. So I had to bring that up here at least.
I appreciate knowing that there's another French spooky woods crime show. They've made more than one of those.
It reminded me a lot of the one that we watched on the review show. Season 1 reminded me a lot of Dark as well. It's not as like bleak and just depressing. But it's the like small town, something weird is going on with it. Maybe some of the town's people have something to do with it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It just felt strange, and they kept using this B-roll footage. So they're like, one of the motifs in the show is these 2 crows that like to hang around the police station, and there was a couple times where it reused that same like B-roll shot of the crows like launching off the window and flying away. But they're sitting there just cawing every now and then, and I just like, it was just one of those things of like, why do you keep returning to this? But it's not really brought up that much in converse. Like, they are a theme and a motif, like visually, but besides that, who knows? So I happened to name them Jay and Silent Bob, because they were just out there like standing by the window, just doing their thing, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's Jay and Silent Bob, just sitting there.
There are 2 famous cartoon crows named Heckle and Jekyll. They're both already birds. They're both already crows.
I don't know them as much. They just reminded me of Jay and Silent Bob. That's all.
In that one of the birds talks and the other one does not. One of the birds is a cameo by the director.
Yep. I mean, he does talk once, at least in that first film. He has one line.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the crow. I'm like, yeah, crows can kind of talk.
Brock, that's the murderer. Get him. So, anyways, that's all I have to say on that. Good show, though. I liked it. Liked it a lot.
Nice to know. I think I've told you this a couple weeks ago, but you got to get one of those maps you fill out for every international TV program you find.
Right. Did you ever have the, like, you remember when the like different state quarters were a big thing? Did you ever have one of those maps where you could collect them and put them in the state there?
No, we didn't have a map. We had like a booklet, like a little like leather booklet with like the inset that you would plug the quarter into. And my dad collected all of them and saved all of them to give to my nephew when he like graduated high school or something. And which is a very grandfatherly thing to do, except when you already have two young children at home who are like, Dad, we want the quarters. We're right
here. You said that it's a very grandfatherly thing to do. That's exactly what my grandfather did. Like almost to a T. He bought me, it was like a not hard cover, but like a big cardboard thing that like folded out. It was a big map of the United States, and it had a slot for like each of the quarters to fit in, and you had to like stick them in that. But then he bought me like a full like actual set, like not as a like you can put them in the map, but you like here's just the like two stacks of them all, so that way like you can put these in the bank and they'll be worth something down the road, right? I think I like used them on like arcade machines or something. I don't know. I was just like, I don't care about collecting these things. But yeah. Quarters.
Grandparents, they love coins. I don't know if the kids are getting into coins. I don't know if there's like a 19-year-old who's looking for like buffalo head nickels or something.
I did have like a small collection of coins. I had some foreign currency. I still probably have some of it. I know for a fact I have I assume that it's fake, but I don't know for certain. It's a $20 coin, like those big giant like $20 gold coins.
Did you try to unwrap the foil to see if there's chocolate inside?
It is not a chocolate one, I guarantee you. But no, it's like an actual like metallic, like it's a heavy coin, but it's gigantic.
I'm just imagining like you meet like somebody on Rachel's side of the family, and they're like, "Oh, Kyle, what are you into?" And you're like, "I collect coins, antique coins. You want to see my collection?" And it's just a collection of like very clearly chocolate coins. They have like the Easter bunny on them, but they're still in like a velvet case.
This is the Marvel editions. Here we have the Batman 66 version over here.
You just have a pog in there.
Oh, and that is a Wyoming quarter. Okay.
Kyle, Alf is on that. Yeah, Wyoming's own Alf. Our state animal, Alf.
Oh, God. Anyways, that's I don't know where I was going with this here. Coins, gotta love them. You know,
grandfather stuff.
Melissa, you have a California drive around mentioned here on our list. What is this California drive around?
This is a subgenre of movie I've been trying to quantify.
Okay. where they are driving like on the strip, or like more on like the beach side of things? Like what constitutes this genre in your mind?
Well, I was inspired by this week on the review show. We're watching Angeline, which is all about a woman with a famous car in Los Angeles, and she puts herself up on billboards and she drives around in her pink Corvette, just being a celebrity, looking at herself on like 100 different billboards. And there are these movies where you're in California and you drive around. And I'm not talking about an action movie. I'm not talking about The Fast and the Furious. You are not driving around for action. Speed isn't in this either. You're driving around for a series of errands and hassles and things you have to do.
Or establishing
It's not really
shots.
about...
Would you count it an establishing shot too? Because like you can recognize that strip, or them like driving out to like the Hollywood sign or something like that.
Driving is a key part of the movie. You have a lot of places you have to go in the movie when you get there with a car.
I feel like this should have been one of our Oscar category awards last week. Best Hollywood tour thing.
Okay, it's not explicitly Hollywood. It's not explicitly Hollywood. It can be more mundane parts of the Southern California area. I called it specifically the California Drive Around to pay homage to one of the finest drive around movies, American Graffiti, set up in Northern California in Modesto. The California Drive Around movie is, you just have a long series of errands and hassles and something you're chasing or something you're getting away from. You're just led from place to place, and it's exasperating that you have to go all these places. It is not necessarily glamorous, but it's also not like Collateral isn't. You're driving around in LA, sure. I don't know if there's
Uncut Gems, but some guy just keeps getting the runaround of LA.
That's another kind of movie.
I have to go somewhere else, go get this thing, and then I gotta bring
That's
it
another
back
kind
to
of
you?
movie called the New York Walk Around, like Eyes Wide Shut, classic New York Walk Around. I'm talking about the California Drive Around. I'm picturing movies like Licorice Pizza, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Pulp Fiction. I don't know if you've seen that yet. Any movie where it's just you've just got things you have to go do. Think about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, set in Chicago. That's not it. They're doing fun things. Nobody's making them go anywhere. They're not chasing a particular thing.
True. Okay.
They're just sort of sightseeing, being around. So like this isn't like a vacation movie or anything like that. You've got stuff you have to go accomplish. It's kind of like a Shaggy Dog kind of fiasco sort of story. I put Big Lebowski in this. This is just something I'm starting to piece together, and there's a lot of movies I have to watch or rewatch to really quantify what it is I'm trying to talk about.
I gotcha.
It takes place over a short time span, usually like one day or one night or a week or something. You have to go to a lot of places. This can just be like somebody's apartment or a diner. California, I don't know if it's literal California or only movie California, full of diners. Yep. If you watch The Disaster Artist, they go to like 5 different diners over the course of that movie.
Diners are good.
They are good.
You heard it here first.
You have to like among your journey, you have to stop. You have to like recollect, reconvene, have some coffee, have a slice of pie or whatever, go to the Pie and Burger and collect your thoughts. Maybe like a crime goes down there. Maybe there's a heist or something.
So let me ask you this. Since this was inspired by Angeline, how does Angeline fit in that? Because I'm only halfway into the thing. So we do see her driving around in her pink Corvette, I would assume from the story, at least in the like late 70s, early 80s, when you saw her, she was probably trying to go to some movie deal or interview or something to be like, I want more billboards. But part of the show is also her, like, someone just kind of ran into her while she's putting her groceries in the trunk and driving away, stuff like that. So how does Angeline fit in this one?
She's constantly out and about. You see her go to a Denny's.
But is that accomplishing something? How is Denny's different than like Ferris Bueller out being like, let's just accomplish fun?
It can't be fun. The California drive around is not fun. You get dragged to go do this
Melissa,
thing.
you can have fun at Denny's.
You can have fun at Denny's. I know, I've done it before. But it's just a series of like appointments, and somebody called me and I have to go over there and we have to drive out into the desert and somebody fights a snake. Babylon, the new movie Babylon, an excellent California drive around, even if it's old timey. Anytime that there has been cars and has been California, you can do it.
Interesting.
It's just a series of like appointments, hassles, things you have to do. You're sort of exhausted when you do it. You're not excited to do a California drive around, but the audience might be.
Is this going to show up down the road on the review show? Being like, Kyle, I've got it. Here they are, the three quintessential California drive arounds.
Maybe. Like I said, I'm trying to piece this together for myself. The California drive around and the New York walk around. That's my next goal.
New York walk around. Good stuff. Good stuff. I now I'm in my mind being like, what new genres could we invent for like a theme on the review show that we have to pitch stuff on? Interesting. That'd be fun. That might have to be something we do down the road here on the Captain's Log. Invent new genres.
Very specific subgenres.
We already have our like senior citizen detective who's the new like starry-eyed detective and the young that's grizzled. That's
different because that's something we want to manifest. We want to see that. We're not trying to put words to a thing we've already seen. I am trying to describe a specific vibe I get off of some movies I've seen and like group them together. I'm not inventing stuff. I'm not a pioneer.
Well, dreams crashed and burned there with that one.
I'm also trying to put together this genre of sad party, which is very closely tied to the California drive around. It's a movie that is 100% sad and 100% party.
Cool.
Basically, like most Baz Luhrmann movies and Boogie Nights.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I don't really have anything else for the Captain's Log this week. We covered all of our bases. Good stuff.
We did. We knocked off everything on that list.
Hell yeah. Good week, I say. Good week. Melissa, do you have any other kind of last minute things that you want to bring up? One thing that we are going to be talking about a little bit here is that we were planning at the end of March to have our taste test episode where we both get a bunch of the same kind of food or snack or drink or something. This year we had picked out a bunch of Pocky and Pretz to try out. The pack that we were going to get might be arriving later than normal. We're going to work something out and figure it out. But stay tuned for some more details about that down the road, but soon. Very soon.
If you were hammering your fists on the table demanding us to eat, it's going to happen.
Fork and knife. Good stuff. Melissa, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. Only available there, not on any billboards. And you can listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities, show where me and my brother Jams talk about weird old kid shows you feel like only you remember.
There you go. You guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer. And if you would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts. So please go like, share, and subscribe. That would help us out a ton. If you guys are watching the YouTube version of this, go check out one of our other videos right over there. That would help out as well. I hope you liked it. Thank you for checking it out. This has been number 227 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.